Y2K was so much better. Now, in all honesty, there's one main reason why 2000s fashion is so much better than whatever the fuck we have today. Creativity. Clothes used to actually be styled and not just worn. Y2K was so much more expressive, playful, and it was much more layered, not just with clothing, but with personality as well. Companies actually had depth to their product, and they weren't just releasing shit just for the sake of releasing it. You can tell these companies actually had fun in what they were doing. I don't know who the fuck started this minimalistic bullshit. They want to make every product look so fucking vanilla, and it is really depressing to see how things used to be compared to how they are now, even with things like branding, buildings, and so much more that I'm not really going to get into in this video. For the next part of this video, I want to talk about the celebrities from that time and the influence that they had for the fashion scene. Of course, you got Britney Spears, Eminem, Paris Hilton, and my personal favorites, Allen Iverson. There's so many more celebrities like Megan Fox, Jessica Alba. Fuck it, let's put Zac Efron in there as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the celebrities from the 2000s actually dressed the way they wanted to dress, as opposed to now, where celebrities are just dressing for brand deals or for Instagram likes. You can tell these outfits are more personal to them. And the clothes that these celebrities are wearing, it's not like it's some expensive ass designer brand. These are just basic clothes that just have their own unique twist to them. If that's how you want to describe it, it looks like you can get these clothes at your local retail store, even a thrift store. And I know Paris Hilton started a trend for having a chihuahua inside of like a little purse. If you haven't watched like a cheesy 2000s movie or a rom-com, you'll probably see a white blonde girl that has a chihuahua inside of a little pink purse. Trust me, I would know because I was like 5 years old. You were barely even alive for the 2000s. Hey man, I got good memory. I remember all of it. I was dressing myself up when I was 3 or 4 years old anyway. For all my streetwear people, Allen Iverson was literally like a fashion icon. He influenced a lot of basketball fan styles. He honestly just had that fucking swag for the 2000s because every kid wanted to dress like him. Eminem had more of a hip-hop vibe, obviously. Those baggy pants, oversized t-shirts, it's something we still see today because obviously Y2K is trending as of right now, and for good reason, because it's so much better than the dog shit that we have today. These really big shorts, big chains, oversized t-shirts. Man, bro, I fucking love it, man. I fucking love it. I just love 2000s fashion, man. Britney Spears, Jessica Alba, Megan Fox. Girls today still want to dress like how they did. What I really love about Y2K, especially for the women's side, they had so many layers. I love when women wear a long sleeve with like a tight shirt over it. But this leads directly to my next point, which is 2000s had a sense of individualism. I feel like Y2K fashion was a lot more hands-on. This goes back to what I was saying about creativity. People would cut up their shirts, they would add studs on their shoes, make their own bracelets, rings. The 2000s just had such a dirty like vibe, but it was a good dirty vibe. It wasn't a you smell like shit kind of dirty. It was kind of like dirty on purpose. You know what I mean? It was a good type of dirty, if that makes any sense. So in essence, maybe it's because social media wasn't really around as much as it is today, but people had a much more personality and a sense of individualism. And I know this video is gonna sound biased as fuck. I'm not completely hitting on today's fashion. Even the fashion trends back then are trending now. Like this baggy look, Ed Hardy, Affliction, JNCOs, studded belts, like all of that you're gonna see today. Going back to some of the trends in the 2000s, of course you got the high-rise jeans, baggy jeans, raccoon eyeliner, jeans under a skirt, MMA t-shirts, these relaxed fitted jeans. I think we're all familiar with this anyway. Like I said, all of these trends are kind of trending right now. But comparing some of those 2000s trends to now, don't even get me started with whatever the fuck this was, or this, or that. Just a bunch of bullshit. I think one of the many problems about today's society is that a lot of people try to be too different. Too different to the point that trying to be different just for the point of being different. People are always trying to find that next trend. People are always trying to create that next trend. But what they aren't doing is just being themselves. And for the people that don't respect who you are, the way that you dress, the way that you act, then honestly, fuck them. They don't deserve you anyway, man. But yeah, nowadays trends consist of not really what looks good, but what is socially acceptable, if that makes any sense. Some trends do look good. Leopard print is trending right now. It's been trending for quite a while. I like it. Just because it's a trend doesn't mean it's bad. Now, don't get me wrong. Half of the time, the trend is probably just gonna be ass. Sometimes people take these trends and then they start piling a bunch of dog shit on top of it, which is why it's always best to not dress for the trend, but to dress for yourself. Which leads us to my next point. Social media. The 2000s was pre-social media. There was a little bit of social media during the 2000s. Social media during that time was not nearly as close as what it is today.
Key, start fapping my boner.
But because of this, it also meant people really weren't dressing for likes or an algorithm. If anything, they were dressing for their neighborhood, for their school, and more importantly, they were dressing for themselves. Now, what's the difference between dressing for social media and dressing for your neighborhood? Social media is just gonna skew your perception of like what's really going on in the real world. I rarely ever see anyone in real life wearing something like this, but I see it all the time on the internet. I always remind myself that social media isn't real. Back to the 2000s, what I mean by dressing for your neighborhood, you weren't really dressing for hundreds of thousands of strangers on the internet. You're kind of just dressing for a more tight-knit community. And another thing about vintage clothing, 2000s clothing, most of the time their clothes were better quality. They had thicker material, 100% cotton, not this 100% polyester bullshit that we currently have. You can tell they actually took the time with the garments, the stitching, everything. If you have any 2000s clothing or any vintage clothing from like 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, compare it to a newer piece of clothing and just feel the difference in material, the weights, the fabric, everything. My final remark for this video, and it's the most important, is that fashion used to be fun. People dressed to express themselves. They didn't dress up just supposed to get ready with me on TikTok. They were actually dressing with a purpose. But I do think fashion is really good even today. I just think that it was way better back then. I like the fact that vintage clothing and 2000s clothing is trending. I think that should be a sign for these current companies to maybe move back in that direction. I'm all for minimalistic outfits like this, but if you're going from this to this, then that's a completely different thing. Holy shit! I know I went on a little tangent there, but I just wanted to make a video of me ranting, talking, yelling, coming, whatever about 2000s fashion, because I've been wanting to make this video for a while. If you like this video and you want to see more of my beautiful face and content like this, like and subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. You guys can't really see, but I actually have a writing on my wall that I wrote at the beginning of 2025 that just says 10K, 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 because that's what my goal is for 2025, and we're almost there. So I couldn't thank you guys enough. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you soon.